Well, welcome to the Q podcast. This week, we are joined by a very special guest. He was just recently living in Peoria, now lives in St. Louis. He's a Bradley alum, an actor, and the founder of the Great Work Begins theater troupe. I think I got that right.
You did.
Okay, it is. We're here with Andrew Rhodenbaugh. Thanks for being here, Andrew.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah. So the reason we're bringing you on is that it's the Christmas season. Not that you're not, interesting or funny any other time, but you and a few other people, a small, group, put on the ultimate Christmas show, Abridged, down at the Maxim building every winter. And is this your third year doing it?
This is the second year.
Second year. Yeah. Okay, great. And so this started this past weekend, the very first shows, and then it's continuing on tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and then next week of shows as well. So yeah, we're having Andrew on to talk about that. So I guess what are some of your? I guess what's your acting and theater background, Andrew?
I kind of fell into it at Bradley, became a theater major for a while, and took a long break and got back into it at Cornstalk.
Okay.
About 6 years ago.
Cool.
And kind of just been doing tons of stuff ever since. And we started our theater troupe as a result of the Cornstalk show.
Yeah. And is that I guess what would people know you from, any type of role or performance or any leads or anything like that people might have seen?
Probably my favorites were The Shape of Things. I was in that. I played Adam in that, and then also I played Ken in Red of the Cornstalk.
Yeah. Okay. And with the theater troupe, I mean, what was the idea behind making that your own, and what do you guys do?
Well, we met doing a show, and we all just liked each other so much that we just wanted to keep going. So we decided to do the Midsummer Night's Dream as our first show, and kind of have done a lot of Shakespeare since that. Okay. Mostly because it was free. You don't have to pay rights for Shakespeare. So.
which for any fledgling startup theater troupe is probably a good thing. Was there something with acting that just kind of resonated with you, or is it something that you were either naturally good at or discovered hey, I'm kind of okay at this? Why not try?
It was just one of those things where I did it, and there was just nothing quite like that feeling of being on stage. It was kind of a unique experience, and I just kind of got hooked on it from that. Yeah.
And anything, now you say your troupe does a lot of Shakespeare, any kind of specific thing you like doing more than others, or any kind of specialties that you have?
We like to do theater that takes the show to people if we can. So we've done stuff at Camp Wakanda. We've done stuff at Noir in the Heights, and we did a show at Kelleher's a long time ago as well. So we kind of like the idea of bringing theater to people, not necessarily having them come to a theater.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Well, and then, so with your history with the Ultimate Christmas Show, how did that come about with you being a part of that?
I'd worked with Andy on some stuff at the Waterhouse before, and so he was casting the show and just asked if I would be available to do it.
Yeah. And what was when you first got to know either the production or the material, what stood out to you? What did you think was fun?
Well, it's like a vaudeville type act where it's just boom, 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 joke, 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 and just from one thing to the next, and that's kind of the fun thing about it, I would say.
Yeah, and there's not really a lot of downtime. It's you, it's you and two other people up there for the whole stretch of the performance. Now, I guess if you wanted to explain what is going on in the Ultimate Christmas Show and why it's why is it abridged per se, right?
Well, we're supposed to be presenting a multicultural interfaith variety show with a bunch of different acts that don't end up showing up. And so we end up using their costumes and props to put on the show that we think they would have done.
Yeah. And hilarity ensues.
Yes. Hilarity ensues.
And what kind of, I guess, what are things that, because this is very much a comedy show, what are things you find funny about the Christmas season? Or
no one is left out. Everyone's made fun of. It's pretty across the board. Everybody is jabbed at for sure.
Yeah. And do you feel like audiences kind of resonate with that?
I think so.
Busy with shopping all the time, and now they get to laugh about this somewhat absurd season we're in. Yeah.
So my character's perspective is that Christmas is about Jesus. That's my whole thing.
The whole bit.
So everyone's represented in some way.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. And what did you think? I guess What was your reaction to the first show you did? The very first one you did with it. Were the audience kind of with you the whole time and laughing? How did you experience that?
Yeah, it was. It's a ride they go on because it's so quick. There's so many jokes that just come flying at the audience. So it's a ride that they go on with us, and it's for the most part they stick right with us the whole time, and they seem to really like it.
Yeah, yeah. And so Andrew Driscoll, he's the director, does a lot of Waterhouse productions. What's your background with him, and what makes him so fun to work with and such a good director?
He's just a good. He treats it like a business, the whole thing. So he's done professional theater, and so he always makes sure that we're following stricter rules than I'm even used to in other kinds of theater, which is nice. But we have a lot of fun too. It's just there's 5 of us involved in the whole show, so we're pretty. A tight crew. Yeah. And when do you start like rehearsing and getting ready for this every year? When do you start? We had a rehearsal this summer just to make sure we're familiar with it again. Yeah. And then we started real rehearsals in like late October. Okay. And do you remember it? Do you pick it up pretty easily when it was really quick when it came back? Yeah. Okay. Which was nice. Yeah. Just like riding a bike almost. Yeah. Is that tough though too? Cause I know with most actors, you're juggling several performances over the course of a year. Mm-hmm. Is it difficult at times to kind of keep your material straight or pivot from one production to the other? It keeps it interesting, that's for sure. I'm lucky to learn lines really quick, so that helps with that. But yeah, it's a bit of a juggling act for sure. Okay. And what? So your co-actors are Mike Reams and Jimmy Lahood, also pretty familiar around these parts. What did you know about those guys, and how is it to perform with them? I've been in a show with both of them before, so it was kind of like old friends type situation. But we play off each other really well. We have a lot of fun together. Yeah, a lot of chemistry involved. What are they? So you described your character as like the person that Christmas is all about, Jesus. Right. What are the other two? What are their? Oh, I make fun of Mike's character for being a pagan. He calls himself a utilitarian, which is he believes in God when it's useful. And Jimmy's character is all about presents. Okay. He's the materialistic side of Christmas, I guess. Right. So 3 very, kind of opposite people in regards to the season. Now, is there any type of, is it a production where you have some improvisation places here and there, or do you stick mostly to a script the whole time? It seems like it's improvised, but it's pretty much entirely scripted. There's just a few little things we throw in, but yeah, it's all scripted. And did you do anything different from the previous year to this year? We did. There's some jokes that we updated. There were a lot of election jokes last year, so we changed them this year. Yeah, exactly. So there is some wiggle room in there to kind of switch some things up. And I mean, did you? Is it one of those things where did you want to come back this year and do it again? Was it a favor for doing it? Why did you want to come back and do it again? Yeah, it was just a good experience last year, and I was excited to come back and do it for sure. Okay. And what I guess what precipitated your move from Peoria to St. Louis then? Seeking out new employment opportunities. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I started an art business this year. Nice. What's your business? I do portraits and illustrations. Great. And so is it one of those things where like the portraits kind of fulfill one artistic side, and like maybe the theater work and acting does the other? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yep. And then for I guess what are some of your favorite things to act in, or favorite things to I guess joke about? What is that? I like comedy. Like this is fun to do comedy, but my favorite thing to do is drama. I like really serious stuff. Really stuff that really kind of gets at your core. Is it one of those things where you're good at comedy, but you find the challenge of drama maybe a little more fulfilling? I think so. Yeah. Actually, I feel like comedy's a little bit more challenging for me. But I like to do both. I like to mix it up. And are Mike and Jimmy good people to kind of work off when you're doing the comedy thing? Just a good material to build with them? And, yep. Awesome. Every night before the show, we run the entire show with a line blast, so we get to kind of goof off a little bit. We'll explain that real quick. Well, it's just there's so many lines and so many things we have to fit in there, and so we just like to run the entire show before we even go on stage. Right. Okay. And could that arguably be funnier than the actual show? Oh yeah, yeah. We call it the Blue Show. Yeah, it's a little bit I don't know, more risque.
Risque, raunchier, dirtier.
Yeah.
And what is the for people that maybe have not been down to the Waterhouse to see a show? What is it like to perform there? And maybe as an audience member, what does it sound and feel like when you're in there?
It's a really cool space. The Broadway Lounge is a really cool space, and we've got a big red curtain, so it looks really, really theater-like. You know, and it really fits with the show as well. And it's nice because there's a bar down there. You can like sneak away and get a drink while the show's going on and everything.
Okay.
Too.
Great
food too. Really
I was gonna
food.
say there's a food. I mean, I think there's a food element where you can buy a meal beforehand
right.
and eat, and then are people more susceptible to laughter after they've eaten? Do you know?
I think so. A couple drinks in them too.
Yeah. Any heckling experiences or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
there's a lot of audience participation, so they get to do a little heckling, but
Great.
nothing bad has happened.
all the good kind.
Yeah.
Now, do you get a chance? Do you go out into the crowd at all as part of the audience participation? Do you remain on the stage?
I don't, but Mike does.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm sure that
Pulls people on stage whether they like it or not.
Now, have you heard? Is it mostly Central Illinois folks that go to these shows? Have you heard of people coming from further away to?
It seems like mostly local people. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is it people that have generally come out that you've recognized or see from most theater performances, or do you get a good mix? Do you think?
Well, I'm not quite sure who the audience is because it's not a lot of traditional theater goers.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what the demographic is, but it's kind of some different people.
And it seems like it could be a good thing, like, a date night maybe, or maybe a holiday like work outing or something like that, where you can go out and enjoy yourself. And
we had one show last year that was a holiday party, so the whole business came for that. So
was that any different? Did you approach it the same way?
It's a little different because they didn't, choose to be there.
Okay,
so they're stuck there for 2 hours with us, but they had a lot of fun.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
You didn't, but were you feel like you were working a little harder to make sure?
A little bit, a little bit.
Okay, cool. Now, what are you doing anything coming up as far as shows in the area? Or are you going to mostly stick around in St. Louis?
We'll do a summer show at Camp Wakanda. That's kind of our tradition. So I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but it'll be like the first weekend of June probably.
And what have those previous shows been at Camp Wakanda?
We've done Midsummer, like I said, and we've done Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet and Antigone, and we wrote our own Robin Hood that we did there as well.
Wow.
So,
and what are the audience for the Camp Wakanda shows?
We get a lot of families for that. Yeah. People also like not traditional theater goers come to that as well.
Right. And is that kind of like, I'm trying to think, is there like a stage area where you do it at, or do you?
Yep. They've got a cement slab up on top of a little hill, and it's covered with this canopy of trees, and it's a beautiful spot. We love it. Yeah.
And it gets kind of that natural, more natural element that sometimes you don't get. I guess you get a little bit at a cornstalk maybe, but not a.
I've actually never done a tent show. I've only done the Winter Playhouse.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, but do you find those summer shows at Camp Wakanda to be a different experience, or do you think it's all the same?
It is, because there's the weather. We got rained out one performance only once of all the years we've been there, but
pretty good.
When it happens, it happens. But we also get to stay in a cabin all weekend, so we have it's like summer camp for theater people.
Cool. Now you're in a Christmas themed comedy theater show. Do you find what are your personal opinions on the Christmas season? Do you look forward to it every year? Do you think it's one that's kind of overblown?
I do. I don't know if there's something about Christmas that's kind of sad nostalgic, which I think I anticipate that, but it's also a little bit sad every year. But also it's all about family, so that's a good thing too.
Yeah, kind of Charlie Brown Christmas music
type
of sad. Yeah, that's what I always think about with that. But it is one that clearly by this production is one that's it's a season that's very ripe for comedy, for jokes and just kind of to poke fun at everything. Is that? Have you had family members come by and check it out as well?
I have, yeah. My grandma loves it. She's coming back again this year. She loved it.
That's awesome. Any particular scene or part that she enjoyed the most? Do you remember?
Oh, probably when I'm dressed as Mary, because that happens in a big way, in a very big way.
Not to spoil it for anyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a good
Spoiler
reason.
alert,
That's a good reason to check it out. And Andrew shows up in merry garb. Well, Andrew, I really appreciate coming in and talking about the show and just some of your acting stuff in general. And so there's a show tonight, and then Friday and Saturday. You can just get tickets. Do you have to make reservations ahead of time? Or?
Probably should, because I think Saturday has sold out.
Sold out. Okay, so yeah, look for that. And there's a website, and you can check it out there, or the box office. So Andrew, I really appreciate the time, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.